morning. We've only got a small number of people who were here before. We had a big group waiting. So no idea. I had this scheduled, so it should be nice and clear. We're on the laptop. Good morning. Bonjour. Hi, everyone. Hey, Casey. Hi, everyone down east. Lovely to see everyone here. I heard there was someone from Singapore. That's fun. So I know we're waiting. I'm wondering if the other stream is still showing by chance. Say we had it there. As you saw, I typed in good morning, and then when we went to the go live, it was just sitting there, and then I tried to put it on the phone. It's not a reception issue in Banff, but it's something to do with, we're on our Wi-Fi at home here, which is pretty good. So, bonjour David, hello. Je pense que c'est David à Bruxelles. Bonjour. Hi, everyone. So, hopefully I see lots of people coming on. So, as you saw, I was up early saying hi, keeping everyone connected, but we are here and we're thrilled to have you here. Shall we do a real quick little peek outside and then we'll get into breakfast? So, and I know everyone's really here to see Finn Twomey because that's what it's all about, but we'll have a quick little look outside and see what sort of a morning we have. We had rain yesterday. Some of you saw the big bear picture that I put up yesterday. For some reason, we lock this door because it can swing open in the wind, but it's not like anyone's going to break in. But let's have a quick little look outside. Let's see what sort of a morning we have in the Rockies, everyone. So there we are. And there is a little bit of rain falling. And you can hear the birds chirping. I won't take my laptop out in the rain. It's not waterproof like the phone is. But it's nice to have a little bit of rain because it's a real acknowledgement. Obviously, in this province, there are terrible fires on at the moment. Huge fires burning across Alberta to the north of where we are. And so, therefore, we want to think of all our friends from Alberta. If you don't mind, try turning this overhead light off there. Sure. What do you think? Yeah?
Could work. We can move the light in the front.
There, do that. I'll do this. Let's see how that light. There. That's maybe a bit better. That's a bit better. So, I'm going to Winnipeg today. So, I've got my human rights shirt on this morning because I'm going to the Canadian Museum of Human Rights for the next few days. I'm not getting there till nearly midnight, but this is saying all people are born equal with dignity and rights. So it seems pretty fair. So bonjour tout le monde. And this is a Finn Twomey.
Hello, everybody.
Who incidentally, if you go, look, he's standing on his toes. Look at that. There's no way.
Pretty good.
It's pretty good. But what happens is at night I get down and I file his feet and
exactly. Then I get short.
Gets a little bit shorter. So it is breakfast time here in the Rockies, and it's lovely to have you all here, everyone. Now the chat's quite good. We can actually see it. Hey, Mary Beth, good morning to you. Hi, Lynn. So it's lovely to have you all here. So Finn and I are going to do our normal breakfast because we haven't done one on YouTube yet. So I'm going to have a very complicated breakfast. I'm starting out with something that's referred to as tea. Now,
where does it come from? What land? What land is this golden product?
This particular tea. This looks like what you can buy in every corner store in Canada now. It looks like you should be putting this.
It looks like, I don't know. It looks like something that some kids at my school got busted with.
Yeah,
not that I'd know.
Not that Finn would not know.
I would not know.
We wouldn't be doing it. Yes, as we say, cannabis is legal in Canada, but we do as much now as we did before it was legalized, which is none.
Exactly.
Although here in Banff, we have a public smoking ban, which is very nice because when you're out walking the trails, the last thing you want to do is smell that pungent odor, which we consider the perfume of modern Canada. So I put the tea. This is called mate from South America, by the way.
It's very complicated.
It's actually herbs that are all over the Pampa, and it doesn't have caffeine. It has matein in it. And so I put it in this little filter like this, and Finn's going to have something more complicated. What are you going to have to drink?
To drink this morning? I don't know. No. I'm going to have a smoothie. I'm going to have a smoothie that is going to be significantly more delicious than Patrick T's smoothie. And I was going to use this cup, but as you can tell by the green residue on the outside of the cup, this is not my cup. So we're going to make this one go away.
That'll be my cup.
Oh, there's green residue on both cups. Merci, Papa. So we're going to take the one with the least residue and we're going to wash the residue off.
I was in Ireland for 2 weeks. Now, I would like to say peace and love to all my Irish friends.
We love Ireland.
We love Ireland, but when your diet is Guinness and rashers every day and potatoes, I have to come back and do a detox after the fact. And so Finn is oh, by the way, Finn, we still have a few of these left.
Ooh.
These, by the way, if you've never had, why do they call them golden berries here?
I call them gooseberries.
Gooseberries.
Yeah.
Have you all had gooseberries before? Now, we had to take out a second mortgage to afford these. But have you ever had these before? So they come from the tomato family.
They do, yes. And my grandfather in Australia, who I used his tomato sauce in a recipe description a little while ago, when I made my kangaroo burgers, actually, he has a plant of these growing right by the driveway. And before we go on a little trip, I'll pack my hand with a few of them. And they come, actually, so the berry itself is like the seed pod. And so it comes in actually quite a large seed casing.
Mm-hmm.
And so you have to wait for the seed casing to sort of break down. You pull them out, and they're very, very good. So in French, what do they want us to call them in French?
Yeah.
Physalis?
Physalis.
Des physalis.
Des physalis en français.
Apparently.
Physalios in Spanish. No, I don't think.
Physalio in Italian.
Physalia. Yes. So my breakfast is already complicated because gradually my tea is draining. You see, like that. You don't leave it in there all the time. Otherwise, it's like way too much caffeine and you spend the rest of the day shaking. Oh, Finn's putting blueberries in this.
I'm making a schmovie.
I might go a little crazy and do that as well. So yesterday, I was down in Kootenay National Park. So there's 4 parks that are here. Hi, Anta. Guten Tag. Good morning. Yes, we're so sorry that some people had trouble connecting. And it was, I still, and the problem is in the background, friends of mine who are guides are asking me how best to do these streams. So this is where we are in the learning curve on this. So I had scheduled this. I had done one test. So we're on my laptop. So for those of you who are unfamiliar with all this is a gimbal, right? So this is where I carry the phone around. Last night, the Streamlabs wouldn't work. Someone suggested Prism. Interesting. Now I have lots of other options. Oh, did you, Rose? I was saying that they had gooseberry bush in the yard when they grew up. That's so cool. So there's lots of other options of other platforms. But you know what, ladies and gentlemen, we're getting quite high up on our so-called monetization here for YouTube. And I thought it's good to stick with it for a while. And I will do tours on other sites. I think I just broke this. See, this is my breakfast, everyone. I'm willing to share with all of you. So Lynn, you had a gooseberry bush as well. So Finn,
I've got berries and a banana in my smoothie so far.
That's Beethoven's favorite fruit. Banana.
That looks very unappetizing. Currently, we're going to make it more appetizing.
Right. Oh, we have to take a moment pause, ladies and gentlemen. That's what the bear said.
Why?
Because Judy has just signed on, and I happen to know things just because I have little birdies that tweet around. It is Judy's birthday tomorrow. Sorry, Judy, happy birthday.
Day.
Happy Marble Day. It is Judy's birthday, and it's lovely to have you here with my kid and myself. So, and we've got, I'm sure we have people from Quebec here. Jean de pays, c'est à ton tour de te laisser parler d'amour. Happy birthday, Judy. It's lovely to have. Oh, and for those who signed on late, I'm flying to Winnipeg, Manitoba tonight, right in the middle of Canada. And it is literally, obviously not north-south. Do you know near Winnipeg is actually the center of North America as a continent? So I'll be flying over there, but I'm going to the Canadian Museum of Human Rights. And this says, all people are born with equality, born equal with rights and dignity. So that's what this says. And I thought it was an appropriate shirt to wear this morning. And then this is my house coat because
I'm in my house.
I'm in my house. And it's
my house.
It's 4 degrees outside, 4 degrees Celsius. So it's nice to have so many people joining on and coming to play.
We're going to put some kombucha in
Finn's putting kombucha in his smoothie.
I'm going to talk about kombucha like I know what it is. What I know is I like the taste, and I got it at Costco.
And it's hocus pocus.
But this is the Clear Mind Brew Doctor kombucha. So right there, that's going into the smoothie. I just thought that this is a fizzy drink, and I'm about to blend it.
Yeah, it's not a great idea.
Gonna give it a try.
Really?
Just a little bit. Won't put too much
I'm
in.
still working on my breakfast here. It's a long and complicated process. See that? So many people ask me why I juice greens in the morning. Well, because I never became a monk, I still wanted to be a masochist. No, it's that's a good line. That's good. Yeah, been like that one. I'll tell you, I'm not about to give health advice to people, except for my dad, who we lost. My dad, Finn's granddad, who we lost 3 years ago, was a lovely, thoughtful, kind man. He was a composer, but he had dementia. So I did a bunch of reading about dementia, obviously, because I watched Dad as he went through that process. And a few things apparently help to hold off dementia and to lengthen your life. Now, again, we all can fall into, hocus pocus sort of things, but the 10,000 steps a day seems to be a really clear one. And the faster you do it, the better. No, Ruth, like about 5 servings every day. So 5 servings of leafy greens a day is something that is consistent.
That means greens that are leaves.
That's greens that are leaves. So just mixed, right? This is a spring mix, right? There it is, a spring mix today. Because it's really hard to grow our own here, except for a couple of months a year. And we're not allowed to. We're in a national park anyway. So, but in the blue zones, in the zones where people average 100 years of life, whether they're vegetarian, whether they're Mediterranean diet, whether it's Japanese, all the different places, the one consistency seems to be leafy greens. And so I just thought I get really, really bored eating salad all the time. So I thought every day I juice 5 servings of greens. And, I drink it so fast that barely I even taste it. So there's that. The other things to work on, by the way, if you're really trying to keep the brain healthy, is apparently learning a second language is a good thing. Finn and I play every day Global. We should almost play it on the screen. I don't know if we can. I don't know how to share screens.
We could do. We got to start playing GeoGuessr on the screen.
We could play GeoGuessr.
We got to start playing GeoGuessr on stream. We got to get Dad a really big headset, big blue neon sign. It's going to be the new live streamer.
See,
this over to Twitch.
This is a thing called Global, and you have to find a country that it finds every day. So do that every day, and in honor of all our fans and friends on our YouTube group,
yes,
I have started YouTube. Excuse me, still early. Facebook group. I have started doing Wordle every day too. I've started for about 10 days now. I am not good at Wordle.
I'm decent at Wordle.
Are you?
I've done a few of them. I'm not great at it either, but I'm decent. The trick is just, use the words that use up a lot of letters, right?
Yeah.
Or a lot of like common letters. I don't mean, because you can't use up more letters when there's a 5-letter limit, believe it or not.
My first guess always is, ah.
Oh, really? Yeah.
But no, it was suggested to us. Well, it was suggested to us by Paula in the camper fan group, and so I finally started doing it.
Huh? What?
He was blending. So I want to tell you about Finn's girlfriend. This is Chia. I'm just saying the GeoGuessr. Oh, GeoGuessr is good easy for haygoers. It's absolutely true. Think of how many countries those of us who follow these set of groups have been to around the world. Do you play it every day, Anna? Yeah, I mean it's fun. I never particularly liked Scrabble. How is it, Finn?
Weird.
Is it? That's because of the banana.
No, it's because of the kombucha.
Oh, you put the kombucha. I forgot you.
Good. It's good, but it is weird.
How many people here like kombucha? Just out of interest.
So other questions. How many here of you are hippies?
The follow-on question. How many are hippies?
You do perfect. I quite like it. I think it's good. However, I have gotten to the point where, if I ever get it, it is on sale at Costco because $9 for a bottle of it at the grocery store is a bit ridiculous.
Yeah.
So that's sort of my personal take on it. I like this stuff though; it's good. I like fermented beverages. I may have mentioned before that I'm a fan of non-alcoholic, previously alcoholic beverages.
Yeah.
So I like that sort of stuff.
Can it be bad for the liver? That's interesting, Zeus, because that's interesting. I think they're good things. Now, we don't, overconsume anything except for greens. So I know this is very exciting to see how one mixes greens. But now, has anyone else started doing smoothies for breakfast out of interest? I want to have, but the chia seeds. Yep.
Chia seeds.
Yeah. Well, see, it even blends kind of in a reticent manner. But it's a lovely, healthy start.
Oh, we got a few yeses.
Oh, good. So then you do your 10,000 steps vigorously. And then once we've had breakfast, I'm going out for a morning bike ride because all my stuff's already so soaking wet. I'm riding with my bear spray. Yesterday on my bike, I went up and over a hill. And just as I came down, there was a full bull elk. Now, he was just starting to get his antlers, but I decided as an autonomous human being to turn my bike around and go the other way. But I haven't had a bear encounter, although saw a bear yesterday, of course, which is really fun. Now, we should be able to insert images in here, too. But I really don't understand why the other one wouldn't start up. The Life's Little Mysteries. But it's a nice, clean presentation. Now, I know many of you have questions for Finn Twomey. So, Finn, this is your first time on screen.
Me.
That's you.
Okay.
It's your first time on screen since
Hago.
Since Hago went. Yeah.
Yep.
So Hago's long gone, but we're on the biggest streaming platform on planet Earth here by far. Do you remember when these guys came up with YouTube and sold it? They got $1.6 billion for it. So it makes me wonder what you're doing with yourself.
Well, I saw Pretty Rock yesterday.
We saw Pretty Rock. Cheers, everyone. No, but tell us, Finn, about are you applying for university this year?
I may be for early admission though, but next year is when I go to university at the end of my school year. I'm currently in the 11th grade 11. So next year is my last year at school.
Now I'm going to vomit.
Yeah. Next year is my last year at school, 12th grade, and then I will be headed off to university, depending on if
Good morning, Barbara.
I don't decide to drop out. No, I'm joking. Of course, after next year, I'm heading to university, so that will be quite interesting. Yeah.
The early application's important. Finn can apply to U of Texas. I tell you what, I don't think my friend Sue's here, but there's Saginaw Valley State University as a shout out to our friends up there in Michigan.
Down there in Michigan.
Down there in Michigan, that's right. Yes, down from us. It's true, but it's northern Michigan. Well, it's not the Upper Peninsula. But starting in September, I am teaching a course in tourism there, so that's kind of fun. You didn't finish your smoothie, Finn.
I did not finish my smoothie. No.
Are you going to cook anything else for us this morning?
Sure thing.
Are you?
Yeah, sure.
All right, whatever. Yeah. So, but Finn will
make a 12-course meal, including a ratatouille.
Oh, good question, Martine. Martine's wondering when you finalize your course subject. So, Martine, what Finn can do in grade 11. So, literally in Alberta here, I mean, Finn, he's in pretty remedial classes, so it's a long step. He's working on blocks. No, in grade 11, he can apply to universities, but in this particular province, we have final exams that are a little bit similar to the French ones, the departmentals. Now, they're worth 50% in this province. They changed a few of the rules during the pandemic, but he can apply into university, and then as long as he fulfills the grades, so they can look at his grade 11 grades, then he gets in. So that's sort of part of the process. Oh,
half-eaten challah bread that I made recently. I'm just going to interrupt Dad with the statement of what this is.
Sure.
This is some challah I made. It's a bit thinner than I had originally planned, but since I never got to make a challah with you on Hago, I figured I'd still, show you all this. You can see the piece of where I've been eating it in all of its fluffy goodness. I have a very, very good friend of mine, who was over last weekend, and we were making challah together. And she really likes braiding it, so she's getting the hang of like how to braid it in a way that it'll puff up right. So this is what she started with. Had to bend it around, crown it, but this is our half-eaten challah bread. Just wanted to present that to everyone. Put that out to the people.
And this special friend you were making with, she's a nice young lady. So Finn's going to absolutely stay in Canada for university, and maybe do a year abroad or something, unless you go to Mars. And he will do, and it's a fair question. People ask about this. So the university, generally speaking, and it's not a competition per se, but Canadian universities are rated very highly. In some cases, one goes abroad if they're having trouble getting into a Canadian university. And ideally, Finn's just going to go down the road to Calgary. That is an hour and 20 minutes. Well, the university is about an hour and a half from here. Mm-hmm. Like, it's not far. Yeah. And for lots of reasons. My mom, Finn's grandmother's in a retirement facility there. And then the reality is, statistically speaking, Finn will go on and do some sort of a graduate school as well. So, I mean, that's sort of part of the process as well. So undergraduate's really just a continuation of schooling. Finn's just pulled out cereal.
Gonna do some expert cooking.
Finn's going to do some expert cooking for everyone.
Now, I just like to add, in this kitchen,
Rose is saying there was a young lady. No, the young lady Finn was cooking outside with is his cousin.
No, that's my cousin.
And she's
11 years old. She is my cousin who lives in Australia. Like, she's from Australia. So no, the very, very good, special, nice friend of mine here is a very different person.
It's different. So Diane's asking a question. If you were to go study abroad, what interests you and where interests you? I recommend you say Wisconsin, Diane.
Wisconsin, Diane. No, I would say, so Australia definitely interests me. Of course, I am a dual citizen, so it does make sense to go there regardless. Although if I do law in the future, especially I was looking at like the University of British Columbia, for example, if I do law there, then that can coincide with law in Australia, where then I could work with some of the Indigenous community down there, which would be definitely something that interests me. For a few years, for a while, I mean, I've mentioned before that I'm, really into clothing design. I'm starting up my own company. We're releasing some things soon. So when we do, get Dad to let you know, or I'll let you know. And so I did want to go to a fashion school in Japan for a while. That did interest me. Do you remember that, Dad?
Yep.
I did really want to. So I'd say my main interest at the moment would be Australia, although there's a lot of opportunities everywhere around the world where you can really get to experience some different things. And especially if I want to work in, the diplomacy or sort of the law center, you can really travel anywhere.
Yeah. Well, So I guess Finn's looking at a fairly generic undergraduate history or something, which is what I did as well. That is in this country. If you're keeping your doors open for law, and that is not to become a lawyer per se. It's just, I mean, 60% or 70% of people who sit in parliament have law degrees. So, that's one of the processes to look at. And of course, Finn is, he's so well traveled as well, but so interested in the world. So something quite generic. Come to Germany. Das ist wunderbar. Finn, you can learn German.
I could learn German.
It's to go over in Europe. Let's say I did a graduate degree in France, and when I was 19, I did a year at the Sorbonne. It's funny though; it was interesting being in France for that system because they're just buildings in the city, whereas here you have a campus. And you've got really good gym facilities, and you can be pretty outdoorsy. We're pretty outdoorsy, and then Finn has to come home every weekend to Banff, and he has to get a job. In fact, Finn's thinking about. What do you think about his job for the summer?
Working at the Parks Canada Visitor Center. So working with parks would be a good long-term job and come back to Parks Canada is, of course, something that a lot of young people out here end up working for, and really something that you want to support, that you want to be a part of, for sure.
Well, yeah, and bilingual, and he has somewhere to live.
Yeah, exactly. So.
We have such a housing crisis here. We haven't shown you downstairs. There's actually 12 families camped around.
Yeah. They had their little tent, their little fires down there. I had to cut holes in the ceiling.
It's unfortunately we had neighbors upstairs. They're not there anymore.
Yeah, they were really upset.
But it's genuinely one of the challenges. It is. I mean, of course, we love living here. And now this is what I do, by the way, every morning. I just have to show everyone. There's Finn's making cereal, everyone. Normally he makes some fabulous mixed thing for you. But I was just going to say, every morning when I get up, now this is what's a little different, is we've got the temperature dial out back there. Now that says it's 4 degrees Celsius. And that is rather significant because it means overnight we've been above freezing I've been home 5 days and it's been above freezing every night in the morning. That's not normal for me. And so it does mean now the flowers are all coming out. So that's lovely. But we're lucky that we had pretty heavy rain yesterday. Out in the town of Edson. I'm not sure if you're familiar with Edson. There's no reason you would be, but so Edmonton's the capital, right in the middle of the province. And Antje, Alberta's twice the size of Germany. That's how big it is, and we're fewer than 5 million people. Casey knows Edson. 1, 2, 3. Deutschland, yeah. Merci. So if you drive west of Edmonton for 2 hours, you get to Edson, which is exactly halfway between Edmonton and Jasper National Park, or town of Jasper, really. It's virtually evacuated, massive fires. But I was listening yesterday to a good podcast about it. Part of the challenge is the whole north of the province is just crispy dry. Our premier, who is under election and pretends that she hates Canada and hates the federal government, has asked for help from all the other provinces and the federal government. But Finn's, we got a moment here. So Finn, what are you eating for breakfast? But Edson is all evacuated, by the way. 30,000 people are out of their homes right now.
This is a Peruvian quinoa bowl.
It's a Peruvian quinoa bowl.
Now,
I don't believe you.
I would like to add that in this kitchen, we have made several course meals. We have made flambéed food. We've made duck breast. We've made steak, and I'm using all of this as a deflection to not feel guilty about eating Cinnamon Toast Crunch cereal for breakfast today. Because, there's a lot of times where dads posted the meals that I've made at home for myself on the Facebook page. And quite often, I do cook for myself. I cook for mom and dad fairly often too. But, most days when I wake up in the morning, this is probably more realistically what I eat. Smoothie and a bowl of cereal. Sometimes if I'm feeling really adventurous, a piece of toast. And then I'll bring a cup of tea with me to school.
Now I make Catalan toast one morning with all of you, and we always have the garlic here, and that's because in the national park we have vampires and we're really afraid of them. But yeah, we always have the garlic, so we make that quite often. But realistically, this is for me. This is whenever I've had a long trip, particularly to a country like Ireland. Remember in Ireland, I remember my friend buying a piece of salmon. It was a nice piece of salmon, and it came on top of 6 potatoes with a side of mashed potato. And so I always find that I just need a little bit of like a light week.
A calm down week.
It's true. You can never have too much garlic. Unless you're allergic to garlic,
in which case you can have a lot.
In which case, too much is a real problem. But it's lovely to have you all here. I'll see if something comes up today because my flight tonight is not till 8:30 my time. Like I'm really flying, and the only reason I'm flying to Winnipeg tonight is it was that or a 7 a.m. flight tomorrow morning. So I would have had to leave at the crack of dawn. So I'm zipping out there. And then I hopefully am going to meet Tara tomorrow, who you met before, and we'll do a tour in Winnipeg. Incidentally, I changed the tour in Winnipeg to an hour earlier. Now that's something that's nice that I can do that on YouTube. The reason it's nice to see you, Karen. The reason I changed that is I've got a meeting afterwards. Well, thank you, everyone. So Winnipeg's easy. It's an hour-and-a-half flight. And the reason I'm going down there is because it's for a company, but they're promoting how school groups can actually go do certificate courses at the Canadian Museum of Human Rights. So it's something that I really support. And then I'm home on the 15th, but at the crack of dawn, really at 6 a.m. and I gain an hour. So I'm home at 7:30. And so I'm only gone really for three full days in a meaning, 4 days in a meaningful way home. And then on the 23rd, I might take you with me this time. 23rd, I'm going to fly over to London and then I'm going to fly to Amsterdam, where everyone keeps hamsters.
Little hamsters in bags with them.
Yeah.
They walk around with their hamsters and they go over dams. That's where the name comes from.
So we should get Finn set up on the YouTube. So he should be able to sign in. So we'll try and get Finn, because he might as well just do it on this account. It makes tons of sense.
The other thing is, when there's different things going through, you may see me on some other platforms in a while too. So do keep your eyes peeled for that. Dad will let you know. I'm more likely to do tours on those other platforms there, when it's all set up with all of us together. You will see me on the YouTube channel, but that's probably where you're going to end up seeing me.
But yes, so Discover Live is really trying to finalize their revamp. Globetrotter, I know, has been advertising a lot, and I've done tours with them in French, but they want to do it in English. They're really nice people. So I've been working on this YouTube because we want to try and get into that monetized, and really. Yes, Martine, that's a great question. Martine's just asking about the Patreon thing, Finn.
Yeah, well, the Patreon's going to be up very soon.
Finn and I are going to work on it today. So what we'd like to do, I have a backup of probably 100 other previous tours, and we'll probably put those behind some sort of a Patreon wall, which will be a lot easier for all of you from a donating point of view as well, and very easy to manage budgets. Yes, Finn's working on it, Martine, but he did set it all up, and then it wouldn't transfer and connect to this YouTube, and it's all a learning.
Yeah,
and
we have to move over the whole Patreon I built over to another platform.
And to John's point, all of the technology, it's been a learning. In fact, if you allow me to reflect for a moment, during the pandemic, obviously my entire industry fell apart more than any other industry on earth. Here in Banff, our unemployment was 79%. We had controls in town. Now, it was a lovely time. We spent a lovely time sitting around outside and biking and skiing. But then once I found out about these virtual things, I actually had done a couple of live tours just carrying my phone. And everyone knows how unstable that is, right? And then, when I learned about gimbals, I knew nothing about these things. Now I've got the 360 videos as well, the virtually visiting. If you haven't been there, please feel free to have a look at that as well. But it is all a process. So, and like I said at the beginning, people who I think are more tech savvy than me have asked me, how do you deal with the blurriness? So, our friends, Aaron and Patrick, had worked with the Streamlabs, and that was a great help. But then all of a sudden that seems to cut out more. And yesterday it wouldn't sign on. So it is a learning curve. Zoom is actually the best that we know of for all, because most platforms, unlike Hago didn't, but most of the other virtual platforms actually underneath is Zoom. And that's really good. And I'm happy to put up Zooms, but it means then you all need a link. And do you know what? Maybe I might even look at putting one up on Zoom and sending out the link for maybe the polar bears if I can get there. We might try that.
That watch, Tan.
Oh, Finn's got to watch. So, there's a few things. Well, Twitch and all of that. I've really resisted a lot of those platforms, which just seem to walk a really ethical line as well. So, Twitch and OnlyFans. And,
so Twitch is just the live streaming. Twitch and OnlyFans are quite separate.
Although Uncle Rod told me all about Twitch being used for all sorts of things. Yeah,
that's pretty uncommon.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, like I was looking at Twitch because of the question. Twitch is also quite a good platform, although moving over to that is really catered a lot to my generation. So seeing us on there in eventuality might be possible. I'm not saying that we're never going to end up there. We might be able to put some stuff up on there. For the moment, using the tour platforms and using the YouTube channel that is completely ours is a pretty simple process. Pick them up. But if you may see us in the future on Twitch. Twitch is just a bit of a different dynamic, quite a different demographic. And we'll see what happens if we do end up there when we end up there. But for the moment, using these platforms where, viewers are familiar, you guys are familiar with these, it makes a lot of sense. But we will look into Twitch and we'll let you know if we do.
Yeah, the Zoom, Barbara, on Zoom, the actual Zoom function outside is not as obvious, but Zoom is good. Like Zoom is a good base platform. I saw another interesting comment. Yeah, Mike is doing Facebook Live. I might just randomly try a Facebook Live, might even today, go out on my bike somewhere and just put one up. So, but yeah, I mean, YouTube has the replays, and YouTube's the biggest thing out there. I mean, just by definition. But the Facebook Live, I'm really happy to give that a go as well. But I mean, for the most part, we're all just keeping connected, and things are working, and it's nice to have breakfast with all of you, and we're hoping, there's a nice crowd on today. If you would be so kind as to hit that like, and I really don't even. Oh, by the way, do you have tickets, Finn? Do you have tickets for the gun show? Sorry,
Gun shows are actually a really terrible legal loophole. We should not make jokes about that.
That's true. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Finn is correct. But yeah, I mean, YouTube seems to be, I mean, just so logical a place. But if we can get this, but I see, thanks everyone. I can see that the likes are coming up. I don't even know why we're meant to ask that on a live, but it just helps to get.
It helps the algorithm, doesn't it?
Helps the algorithm.
Yes. So if we have a viewership, and just explain this really quickly to you, why liking helps. And I know if you've seen any YouTube videos, the person's always like, make sure to like and subscribe at the end of the video, in exactly that tone. But if we have a viewership, as you can see right now, we've had, about 70 people come on here. If we have a like to viewership ratio that is really high, that helps to show YouTube that you really enjoy this content. So we do appreciate everyone who likes. And then if YouTube sees our content, more of it gets shown to you, more incentive comes to us, and you will get more content inevitably in the end.
Now, all of that noted, the monetizing is irrelevant. Like we will be getting $20 a month or something,
Yes.
Once
If that.
like it's total, but it does open up tools, and then YouTube makes our content available to other people.
Exactly.
Yeah, it becomes sort of a promotion that way.
So after that certain amount of hours, when we're officially to be monetized, when we're talking about that, the point of that is not really to make money. It's to have the tools awarded to us when we do that. So when that comes in, you will continue to see more of us. But I appreciate everyone liking. The numbers are just going up. So thank you for that.
Yeah. So that's a really interesting point. Yeah, and I might just goof around with a YouTube live. I have super chat. Carol, great question. I really don't know. There's super chat. I think what happens also is
that's no. Super chat. Sorry to interrupt you.
Yeah.
Super chat is like where you pay to talk, right, Carol? I believe that's what you mean. Super chat's like where I think that's the YouTube term. Do you want to let me know if I'm correct there?
There's a tipping function too.
Yeah,
they take 30%. So I'm not gonna bother with that. But I will ask Harriet in Uganda, because she's sort of our helper that way. Also Dan on Vancouver Island, he knows a lot about that. So so there's all of that. It's an interesting learning curve, and it's nice, and we really appreciate that you stay here to have this conversation with all of us, because it's not really a tour; it's a sort of a morning chat altogether. But it is it's a tip. That's what I thought, Carol.
So monetization is going to be the monetization of the channel as opposed to the tip. We can have that set up, but for the moment, it's just easier to give you a live stream like this.
Yes, I think it's honestly the monetization is that you become a partner with YouTube, and then that means they start suggesting our videos to people. So, and that's going to be, I think, the honest truth among all of our guides. Like, as I hope you all know, Finn and I have never been exclusive. Like we have done it on our Facebook page. We do everything to promote other guides and friendship and all of that. And I don't mind if any of our friends promote their tours. Well, it's so true, right?
Yeah, exactly.
So one of the great things about being all together is that you suggest for people to move across. And right now, of course, I just find it, I'm so busy, it's hard to know if I'm overlapping with people. So, but all that noted, you know what, gang? It's we want to say peace and love to all of you. I know everyone is hoping to see the kid here, so this is the kid here. Now, all that noted, always when the streams end, they end extremely abruptly. So I think. Oh, the next time we're going to do this, we're going to do like a whole morning of dad jokes. Yeah, Finn is always causing troubles when I'm away there, Cindy. So I'm going to tell you all about Finn's very special friend. I'm going to tell you all about now